Howdy, hey Weavers, I am Lex Olden, but you can call me they, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Cross Stitch by Game Woven, part of the One Shot Podcast Network.
Woo!
Yeah, it still feels cool.
The drama was very good in that.
I did my
Hi, James.
Very
Hi,
good intro.
We made it.
We made it. So yeah, if you've never listened to an episode of Cross Stitch / an episode of Game Woven, one, weird place to start.
Welcome anyway.
But we support you.
We're just past 100 episodes in, by the way. So
Oh my
almost
god,
100.
that's almost 100.
that's almost 100.
If you know, you know.
I still don't know.
Me either.
I've been saying it for 2 years, right along with everybody else. I don't.
2 years? That's almost
Me
100.
either.
Hey, that's almost 100. Is the 6-7 of Game Woven? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
6, 7. It's almost 100.
It's closer to 69.
We're off to a great start.
All right, Lex.
Yeah, we started.
Save us.
So Game Woven, Cross Stitch. So Cross Stitch is a thing where we break down the last arc of Game Woven to make it take it a little bit more digestible, and also so we can just kind of shoot the shit about the things we liked and enjoyed, and also remind ourselves of what the hell happened. Because a lot of things happen in our show. It's a lot of lore. We should have a wiki, probably.
It's a lore show.
It's a lore show.
This arc started in February.
Yeah, you remember when we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a short arc.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
I'd never
I
believe
don't
it
remember
when you
saying
say
that.
that. I'd
Yeah.
never believe it.
Also, shout out to my new friend Gemini, who's been listening to the show. You've made it. You've heard a reference to yourself. You've done it. You made it far.
Congratulations.
Incredible. I would love to give a peek under the hood as to like how we structured this, just in general, and then just kind of summarize the whole arc, and then we can kind of go bit by bit, if that works for y'all. Because I
Yeah.
think it's
Oh,
kinda, I think it's kind of cool. We originally just wanted to do a quick dip into the Empire, 2 or 3 games, and then in true Game Woven fashion, during the planning phase, we immediately strode directly into the oceans of feature creep and decided to do like this whole big thing. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to establish a city inside the Empire. We wanted to establish some characters. We wanted to make some big changes, show the Empire being a bunch of douchebags and ruining things for everybody. And then we wanted to do a time jump and send those characters back to that location and have them experience it in a new way. And so that was kind of the order of operations. We started by creating the city of Primsol with a city planning department. And then we had Bree run 2 different games on, right? Was who ran
No.
who ran Kids on Drake?
The
Lex ran
creator
Kids-
of Kids on Drake.
creator of Kids. Oh my god. The
Yeah.
creator of Kids on
Known
Drake.
game designer.
So I made a game and we
It's
played
been
it.
a minute.
Yes, it has been a minute. So we ran Kids on Drakes to create some child characters, because Kids on Drakes is basically a Spielbergian child adventure story, but in a fantasy setting, using the Drakes, which we have used to replace the concept of horses in our continent of Norequis.
Amongst other things.
And then we jumped away from the city of Primsol, where the kids are from, and got our first look in the actual inner workings of the Imperial capital, where we ran the Bitter Litany to see just how gnarly life in the upper echelons of the Empire is. And that was the longest game we've ever run. Easily. What did it clock out at? 13 episodes? 12, 13 episodes?
14?
Yeah, I think it was 14.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 14.
14 episodes.
A lot.
3 separate sessions, 3 separate sits to get through a round of Bitter Litany. And honestly, I feel like we barely scratched the surface of what Bitter Litany can do. I was very impressed with that game.
Yeah, we could have dug deeper, and we're like, we have to end at some point.
We could have kept going for a while.
That
and
could
then-
be a campaign on its own. I kind of want to see someone do that, and let me know because I want to listen to it.
They got to officially release it first. So Bitter
Yeah.
Litany creators, folks, dear friends who sent me the scratch copy that we played off of, get on after it. And then finally, we revisited our characters from Kids on Drakes with Nowhereville, doing some monster hunting. Our goal was to show a pivotal city that we could use. Obviously, we want to create things that we can use on the show later, but we also wanted to show how that city changes due to influence of the Empire. We wanted to show the direct effects of the decisions of apathetic and malevolent nobles on a town inside the Empire, and then keep kind of going from there. That was the arc. That's the synopsis of the arc, and we planned it that way. You think we pulled it off? What do you guys think?
I think we pulled it off pretty well considering we never actually talked about Primsol.
I personally think that was the whole point, and I really liked that. I like the idea that the whole point was Primsol was like this whole center where everything is happening, but everyone doesn't care enough because they've got their own personal shit going on. I think because that is ultimately the like thing that is such a big downfall of all these fictional and non-fictional terrible administrations is like if they actually all put their heads together and worked to fix problems, the good guys are fucked, right?
It's what happens when you treat politics as a competition instead of a collaboration.
Exactly.
Because we didn't really talk about Primsol even in Nowhereville. Like, we went back to Primsol, but no one actually sat down and said, hey, something's really fucked here with this city.
Nope, I just made it weirder. I potentially introduced time travel, but that might have been more of an illusion.
Dreamy time travel. My
did
favorite
weird
kind of time
things.
travel. Did it happen? Will it happen? Say what you
Something
want about-
happened. We're not
Say what
sure
you want about
what
time
or
travel.
why.
I love dreamy time.
I love our first of usually many Ben freezes
Yeah, I love it.
during
I
the
love
ball.
that Ben got to
Decent face.
freeze after he said, I
Decent
love
face this
dreamy
time.
time.
Yeah,
We do love
honestly,
Dreamy
big snaps for Love and Dreamy Time.
I will
I'm gonna
forever.
actually-
I'm fairly certain at this point, my entire life, anytime somebody starts talking about time travel, just quote Kim Possible movie. Time travel is a cornucopia of disturbing concepts. Like, you're not wrong.
Every time there's a Ben freeze, I get a screenshot. Every time.
Same.
This is a particularly good one.
I couldn't
This is
hear
the
you for
way.
a second because my computer.
Hey, Ben's back.
So I love dreamy time travel because you can just kind of make up whatever shit you want and sort of do your own self-insert speculation about how you think things are gonna go. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It was dreamy time travel.
I think my favorite part of this arc is that while we did introduce some heroic characters, we introduced significantly more villainous characters. And I love that. for us.
Yeah.
We needed more
Yeah.
people to hate in this setting.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of rooting for all the people in Bitter Litany, though. For the characters that we played as, I'm absolutely
Uh-huh.
rooting for all of them.
Dr. Gawain does not deserve any joy or victories. I'm just going to say it now.
Yeah, the thing I like even more is that we introduced a lot of like internal factions, which I feel is a lot of fun because it's going to be very fun when facing the Empire to be like, oh no, we're facing a House Kirenthal, not just generic Imperial Legion number 7. It's like, no, this is like House Kirenthal's Honor Guard, or like these are Inquisitors, or like a combination of XYZ.
Generic Imperial Legion number 7 is specifically like Ordo Principium Belli,
Yeah.
seventh, like
Yeah.
you know, the 7th Legion,
Yeah, yeah.
and they probably have a nickname, but like it's a specific thing that's outside of that.
Fighting 7.
The Fighting 7th, I don't know.
Also, it doesn't matter how many military war stories I see. For whatever reason, Star Wars won me with just the 501st. I don't know why that one goes hard, but it do.
No, it's good.
It just makes me think of World War II paratroopers.
Let's circle
So-
back to Primsol and creating Primsol. We
So,
should
I
talk
think I
about
wanna-
Let's just not talk about Primsol the whole time. It'll be funny.
So the thing I wanted to ask is, for each of these games, only Bit and Lineage we had all 6 of us. I think? Question mark? Yes.
No, we all played
No.
city planning department, right?
Oh, we were all
Yeah.
there. Yes, we were all.
Mhm.
We're all okay.
Emily was not in for city
Oh,
planning.
Oh, Emily was.
Emily sat
That's
it
what it
out.
was.
That's right.
I was playing an intern.
Well, that's right, because
Yeah.
you were handing out the like twists and the
Right,
character
yes.
dates.
We didn't have everybody for every game, so I was gonna ask: does everyone actually know what happened for the games you weren't there for? It's fine if you haven't, like, I don't know, sat down and listened to our own show. I'm not gonna ask you to do that. I'm literally just asking if you know. in
I'm not
detail.
caught up on Nowhereville. I usually, like, when I don't play a game, I listen actually as things get released.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm one episode behind on Norville.
I finished it today
excited.
Yay!
Hey.
because I didn't have to write a recap for that one.
Yeah, weird things happened. I didn't really have a plan going into that one, I'm not gonna lie. We were gonna do something for Bren's birthday because it's Bren's birthday. And I was like, is this the game about small town horror? We have a blood fountain, I want to do something weird with it.
Hmm.
And then we went back in time, question mark?
Question mark. Let's start at the beginning with the first game we played, City Planning Department. Who found that one?
I did. That was my pick, if I
That
recall
was a
correctly.
great one.
That was a lot
really
of fun.
I really liked that game.
Yeah, it was a fun one. That was pretty weavy, very up our alley.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, I didn't feel great about my character, but I feel like it ended well in the end. We straight up played War Criminals for a few hours, so I was a little worried it wouldn't go well. How does everyone else feel
That-
about it?
That's the most fucked up we've like gotten on this show.
Yeah.
In broad terms, some of the shit that happens very casually in that. There's one moment of interpersonal violence in the Bitter Litany that I think hits those same highs, but like horrifying. And it's all very casual.
Yeah. I just
Uh,
super casually handed you a nuke. I just very casually like said like, hey, just get this person to sign this paper and put it and make sure it's filed in here by this point. I have to go deal with something else.
The only thing that I think hits stuff that's as fucked up as what's in the real like horrors of City Planning Department is the scene with Deidre and the poison, which we'll get to. But
Oh yeah.
like, to be fair, this was intentional. I was re-listening to the first episode a bit today while I was working, and as soon as that, like, I remember being in the game, and as soon as that mention of like, oh, there's people still here, got dropped, my instinct, as you know, because we went in with the brief of we're going to be playing horrible people, my instinct was like, okay, so I think we know what happens to indigenous populations when the Empire moves in. And it's nothing good. And it wasn't. And like the cavalierness with which we dealt with that in character, because on the back end we know that's something that I want to express with the art that I make and that we do, because when politicians come out and clutch pearls about things that are happening or they justify their actions, that's the public face of things. And you do kind of have to at least pay lip service to the humanity that gets destroyed in the machines of like underneath the wheels of empire.
There's a comment to be made about the banality of evil. Not
Mhm.
only did we blow up that whole population rather in passing, the big twist at the end is that more than half of us were actually were spies
Yeah.
operating against the Empire. And so just game theory alone put us in a position where we, who are supposedly against the people doing this, agreed to let it happen. Now, we worked the back channels to get people out of there, but in order to hold our cover, we still had to do it. So it's interesting how supposedly like good people who are working against this force still had to sign off on the thing and do so like really in like a really chill way, like just like
Mhm.
really like, oh yeah, we're just signing like anything else. They still had to do it just because they were so enmeshed in an evil society that it's like, this is just what you gotta do.
And honestly, I don't think Clarissa was fully on the side of any of the rebellion. She was playing both sides. I don't think she was fully committed to like I have something in my mind of like Urstella or someone with them made her an offer, and she decided to start playing a little nicer with them. Kind of plays both sides, and then just bye.
So the two of you brought up something that I wanted to mention about this game, because I don't remember how much we covered on recording. But a big part of this game is we all had like a secret agenda in the background.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much we revealed on the show about what
All
we
of it.
had.
We revealed all of it at the very end. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was just asking because I could not recall.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. So you and I, Lex, were absolutely 100% anti-imperial, and then
Yes.
Clarissa was sort of splitting the road, and then we had two people who were very pro-imperial. What was interesting about that dynamic was watching who agreed with whom and who was like trying to quietly leverage the other people to do things and what everyone's priorities were. I remember Server Taurus, my spy, was really wanted to make sure we had a good bar with a nice basement and tunnel access. Because what he wanted was for the workers to gather and form unions and begin sowing the seeds of revolution.
So the first bar was Lupin. The Grand Tavern on the cliffside was Servitaris.
Yeah.
We both had similar ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, I wanted a bar for nearly the same reason, at nearly the same kind of position. I wanted the bar to be like cover for the rebels to get into the Empire, plan in like the basement or whatever, and escape through the tunnels or shit or some shit.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember my exact thought process behind it all, but same ideas.
I wanted to be
Oh.
able to take a cut of selling them beer.
Clarissa's thought was she wanted to have like a stake in buildings that were near these mysterious tunnels, because if they turn out to be anything useful, that way I can somehow or another control who has access to those.
Now, I'm asking to remind myself. I know the halfway point of this game, there was something that changed our agendas somehow. I don't remember what the.
I think what is I had someone come in and like give an ultimatum of the skeleton needs to be out of here by like the end of the year or something like that, or like y'all are all dead.
Oh, I meant like the
Um,
actual like mechanical thing that happened. I'm trying to recall.
Oh, each one of us was given like a character motivation twist, or no, a character like personality twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that played out, and this was just if you played another version, like if you played this again, you would get a different vibe. But I feel like for the most part, all of our turns were already sort of in line with our agendas, and so it was really hard to make an about face. At least it was for me when I got mine.
If I remember correctly, what my thought process was. So I was part of the rebellion, but I think at some point after like the twist, mine became like, well, the ends justify the means. There's no good guys, only the bad guys who win. I'm gonna be the bad guy that wins. I think that's what happened. Hence me going, hey, let's nuke it. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that came up with the nuke.
Yeah, 'cause you got to actually describe it. So that was your baby.
Sorry.
One of the most valuable things I think about renewal as a concept is it gives us a really interesting big red button. The way that informed some of the positioning I was doing with Bahamut and the Bitter Litany, the tool that we have for later, where we get to make some more decisions about once a culture has WMDs. This is the thing with like dragons and Game of Thrones. Once you've got the ability to just level a city, it's something that you can just do whenever creatively. That's been established, that exists in the world. So as we're going, we'll come up with interesting rules as to why that is. One of my character pitches for a future arc is somebody who is prepped to do that and defected. No promises that guy's going to show up, but there are interesting things to be done with the fact that it is a person. Like a person has to go do it.
Mhm.
It destroys the living things, but leaves the infrastructure. Also really interesting. And like getting into the residue, what gets left behind, because it's not nukes to the same extent, and that's not quite the metaphor, but it is something.
Mm-hmm.
So part of their soul can come back
Sure. Yeah.
Part of their soul can come back, maybe kind of, sorta, and is currently one of them is possessing Dante, who was totally cool with it.
Also, wiping out an area like that's gotta be the fastest way to make everything haunted.
We love making everything haunted, and I love that.
What do vampires care about ghosts?
Truly. What do they care?
That's why you make the siphon blood fountain thingy, so that the way they're all stuck in one space.
Yeah, the ghosts are just going through the tumbler cycle over and over.
I think it is also very interesting that like the ultimate weapon is the thing that also gets rid of the thing the Empire needs the most, which is just like bodies. The thing
Yeah.
the Empire churns through the most is just bodies, living and dead.
And that's why it's the last resort.
Yeah.
Clean slate protocol.
Makes you wonder how they came up with it and how many other ideas did they go through before that.
Uh-huh.
And you know there's gotta be someone somewhere trying to find a way to have the same effect but have bodies left behind.
Mm.
Oh, it's a major research project at
Yeah,
every
for sure.
university.
I think also the fact that it uses like the Emperor's blood, whatever that means.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Because we did not make it clear how finite a resource that is.
Or how you even get it.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Does someone go to the physical emperor and be like, hey, we gotta blow some shit up. Can we get a drop?
Or did the Emperor go, here's a bucket of blood. That's all you're getting for the next 100 years. Go have fun.
We've established in Bitter Litany that there's not been one Emperor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we establish, or is that just a theory? No one really knows. Because I don't think anyone's seen the Emperor.
I don't think we've established it. I think there's a lot of rumors. The only people who could have met the emperor were NPCs.
Basically just the Archdukes. Yeah. When Bahamut made that speech, made the dead emperor, like Bahamut is positing that there is no emperor. Or at the very least, like the emperor is a construct. Like basically what they're trying to do with that speech is to call a bluff on there not actually being any material conditions, and to inspire the possibility to kind of construct a new future as we see fit, as long as we can clear away the old one. That almost leans into why I think as a show we tend to be preoccupied with death, undeath, ghosts, memories. That's a through line going through a lot of our stuff, because in the world that we're existing in, especially as all of us are kicking around 30 plus or minus 5-ish years, I think, we're living in a world that is the old refuse to pass on and to let us inherit it. Well, you know, nobody's
Not
fucking
pass on
inherit.
like die, but like
Not
yeah.
I
necessarily
know,
pass
that's
on.
what
Dire.
that was what I heard.
Yeah.
Like, these old fogies refuse to die.
Some of these old fogies could just drop dead. I want you, listener, to think about exactly who I'm thinking of, and you know the guy. That would be very welcome. Some of these people refuse to die, but for a lot of it, we have not had the opportunity to inherit the world in the way that our parents did. We have not been able to make the spaces that we're living in our own. A lot of us are still living with parents, or I'm renting, and it's so difficult to even make those first couple of steps into claiming a world that is actually physically yours. The world has always been built on everything that's come before it, but we do not have agency. The past is embodied and present and exerting an extremely strong force on our lives in a way that I don't think has been true previously. And that kind of comes through in the work. I think that's why so much of our shit is haunted. We saw so much fall apart through 2020 and 2021.
And even before that,
Yeah, we were kids and young adults in 2008 when all of that came crumbling down. And like, I was listening to Planet Money for years, and you could hear it when the hosts were talking about something. They would be talking about how the economy worked, and then they would be like, and then 2008 happened. And the same thing's gonna happen with COVID. We have these massive events, that are they're discrete. They happened, but they continue to happen because it's the thing that we are stuck with. So I don't know, like that's why ghosts make sense as a theme for me.
Ultimately, we've created a culture, at least, America. I don't know other countries. How you doing? Better from the looks of it, but we've kind of created a culture where, because normally, like, the life cycle of humanity is you become an adult, you look at the world, you do something in the world, you pass it on to the next generation, and then you're old in a corner somewhere. That's what it has been. A lot of people are like, I've done it. I've made it to old. Now it's time to relax. But instead, what we're doing is, now I'm old. It's time to take control. And so you don't get to inherit a thing until you're old now.
Mm-hmm.
To do the work, you have to pay your dues. So someone tells me that one more time, I'm going to punch them in the throat.
Like by time it's gonna be my turn to change the world, I'm gonna be so old it shouldn't be my turn anymore, And that's kind of what we created.
Another thing that we play off of a lot in Game Woven is curses and the curse of generational trauma. Looking at you, Zalo, and healing from that and embracing how what has happened has changed you.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that happening in our generation, and just like the vampires are not thrilled about what's going on down in Zalo, older generations don't like that things are changing.
Yeah. Ultimately, game mode is about healing, but also that means we keep creating things that need healing.
Healing and rebellion.
I think maybe the real core reason that vampires are so prevalent, especially in Game Woven, is because, when we first sat down to play, Zad decided to make a funny haha joke about a vampire archduke. And we just refused to let it go. We just would not stop with the vampires.
We just
No, you can go with that
rolled
thought.
with
Oh, that was it. No, I was making a joke. That was a punchline. That was for laughs and goofs.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It sounded like you stopped mid-sentence to answer the thing I put in chat. I was like, okay, and
No, that was for laughs. Sorry if it wasn't funny. Apparently, no one was in the mood to laugh. Apparently, no one wants joy.
Honestly, the way you said it made it sound like there was another, like that was the beginning of a thought. Like I was like, tell us why Game Woven has so many vampires.
Clearly, we can talk about vampires for a long time. We have.
I did that because I'm a liar, fundamentally at my core.
What?
City planning department, the most important thing is that we established a lot of set dressing for it so that we could then start interacting with the Empire. Our first interaction was Kids on Drakes. Who wants to tell us a little bit about how all that shit went down?
So half of us weren't there. I'm curious as to thoughts from those who saw it from the outside. How do you feel about what happened? I'm just curious.
I first of all really enjoyed how you all kind of played with what we set up in city planning department with like the tunnels and the Six Knives Stadium, and like it did the thing that I like Game Woven for, where it's like all these little bits coming back up and doing their thing, building out on each other. Really liked kind of the bit. Also, I really like just basically playing two characters as a concept, like playing your Drake and playing your kid. I think the only thing that I might do if I was running a game is make other people play other people's Drakes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I want to say one thing first before we continue that. I want to say before we continue, shout out to our guests that we had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rainy and Jency. Awesome guests. We would love to have them back.
Amazing.
And they would love to be back. We know.
They would love to be back. Jency is apparently going to law school. I actually don't know if that's a thing we can say, but
Good, because we need a lawyer.
It's been on Blue Sky.
and then Rainy has been wanting to be on Game Woven for a minute. Rainy is one of my good friends I met online at some point between 2020 and like 2023. I love them dearly. And they're like, Alex, I love your show. Let me on it. It was good to have them both. Now, anyway, what Rob was saying it would be cool if it was one person played the kid, one person played another person's Drake.
Yes.
During session 0, we asked what people would prefer. So that was a thing that was tossed
Mhm.
out as an option, but we went against it eventually.
But what we did do was have a different person make the stats for our drakes.
Oh, cool.
That's
Oh,
good.
okay.
I do like that a lot.
So
That's
we
awesome.
did not build
Yeah.
our own drakes. We built each other's drakes.
Yeah, and I don't think we named our drakes either, but all the names were pretty solid.
You had veto privileges.
Sure.
Yeah,
Great.
no names got vetoed.
Now for the two people who played Kids on Drakes, thoughts?
I love playing a little shit ass.
Ellis is great. Alice is
I
good.
adore Ellis, dude.
We stand.
Lovable little
Absolutely
scamp.
adore. I found it weirdly cathartic playing Penelope, who grew up raised in the church, and that's just all that she knows. So that's like everything is right. And what do you mean there's a war and a rebellion? And what is going on? We don't know what happened to Penelope after that. We know she's fine. We know she's like written letters to her friends, but just like getting to play that was like weirdly cathartic for reasons.
Yeah.
On my end of things, I was simply terrified the whole time.
You did
You
great.
were
sweetie.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, 1, I was running a game that I put together, already terrifying. 2, I've never DM'd anything on recording before.
Really?
Yeah, really. I've never been. I've done like shows, but I've never been the one in charge of a show on recording.
Oh.
The closest was For the Queen.
I think the guest component cannot be understated. We don't get an opportunity to do it very much, but anytime we're able to bring people into a setting we've built and have them sort of experience the playground, because I talk about lived in, and Primsol feels lived in.
Mhm.
Primsol feels like you could go there. There is stuff abound, and there's history. There's a timeline leading up to it. It's not like it was just sort of airlifted in. And I think
Yeah.
letting people to experience that is like, yes, that good stuff. The nice thing about it is the
Mhm.
setting does a lot of the work. Did you feel like you had enough tools to play with, at least?
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
We had a bone church. We had a blood fountain. We had multiple bars and a sports stadium. What more do you need? And a school.
The characters we had, one of the biggest problems I have with DMing sometimes is when somehow everyone makes a group of characters where no one's an instigator. No one is willing
Fair,
to go
that's fair.
push the button to make the plot move forward. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Did not have that problem this time.
No.
Nope.
Oh, that was actually a really weird one for me with Ellis. Is for once I was playing a button pusher.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's like, there's this stupid, crazy, dangerous thing over here. Let's do it.
I got a question, Emily, because you were very much the risk taker. Do you play a lot of PBTA?
Only
'Cause it was kind of a
typically with
PBTA,
Bree.
right? If I recall correctly.
I think most of it's been with when I've kidnapped you.
My PBTA experience is mostly with pseudonym social stuff.
Yeah.
I've always found that when I'm playing kind of the story forward narrativist kind of games like a PBTA or stuff, and it's right.
You go do things a little more because it's like, I'm gonna do this thing. All right, roll these dice.
Yeah, because it's not actually a PBTA. It's based on Kids on Bikes.
Yeah. Which is based kind of on
We're
It's- it's a-
starting to metastasize away, right?
Yeah.
We're a speciation event away from
Yeah.
it, but
it's you try and do the thing, roll a couple of d6s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, PBTA is short for Powered by the Apocalypse, which is like a core gaming system that is used to make a bunch of
Mhm.
games here and there, like Masks. My brain
Monster
forgot.
Hunter.
Apocalypse Worlds.
Or Monster
yeah.
of the Week.
Monster of the Week
Park.
is
Yeah,
the big
Monster
one.
Week, that
Monster
one.
Week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. My brain forgot all of them instantly.
But I always find that I'm more comfortable because the system is more forgiving about risk taking because it's the same roll every time. Like you're rolling and you're just going to see what that says rather than like accidentally fighting a creature that's a higher CR.
One thing that I really like about that style of game that I'm seeing more in indie games these days, or I'm just picking up and reading more indie games, is that those tend to also, in some way, reward failure. Like, yes, you failed your roll, but you get to advance a progression track, and eventually you will get something just for trying.
Yeah, you get rewarded for failure, and I also love the success with the cost. or like difficult choice things
Partial
like that.
successes are also
absolutely
good.
love. Yeah.
Anything that allows you to fail forward rather than just, oh, the thing you're doing is done.
Yeah.
But you get a little something, and it's not just hit it. Except I don't. Okay, I'll see y'all in 20 minutes.
I even like it when an actual failure, like not just a fail forward or a mixed success, but where the failure itself has a consequence that drives the narrative forward, even if it kind of fucks your character over.
Mhm.
Because
Mm.
there's nothing worse than a null result. I swing my sword, I miss, nothing happens. That sucks.
No, you need something to progress off of.
Yeah, if I miss an attack, I want the monster to like pounce on me and knock me over, and now it's got its jaws at my neck, and I've got a new problem to solve. Like that's what I really
It's
want.
like the difference
Mhm.
between hitting a wall and being forced down another path.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a moment I had a few years ago when I was DMing for Dungeons and Dragons. I think it was either Dungeons and Dragons or one of those thousands of games that's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, but not quite. Could be any of them. I don't remember which. But that's like when I realized, oh, failing at a cost or like failing, but like narrative move. That's when I realized that's just better. Someone was rolling to pick a lock, and I set the challenge in my head. Then they failed it by 1. And I went, hey, this could be cool. And I went, you realize that you fucked up at disarming the trap, and you know if you move, the trap will go off. What do? And from then on, I'm like, sick. I'm never saying you fail again. Never.
Teen mystery solving is like such a specific and very different genre. Like for us, I mean, that's a big first. How did that kind of like vibe feel going into like just in general and then also into the Game Oven verse?
So a thing I've learned from running games for mystery solving things, you gotta make it feel like you had the clues planned and know the fuck you didn't. Because there could be 1,000 things that they try to do or never think to try, or it doesn't matter how obvious you think you are at pointing at the clues, they just might never get it. Because sometimes you're not as obvious as you think you are. Sometimes they're not as smart as they think they are. So I've had some practice with mystery stuff, not a lot of practice with teen stuff. I've never run a game that's just like, and then these children did children things. That was new for me. I was fascinated the whole time, honestly. But that's why I wanted to make the game in the first place. I thought the idea of Kids on Bike like neat. I'm not super into like the
Stranger Things of it all.
Yeah, I'm not the Stranger Things of it all. I'm not a Stranger Things person. But also I'm like, I love dragons. I could put dragons in it. I could put a little guy.
I do now
You love
have
a
a
good little guy.
3D printed Drake that I have named Odie.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's a big win.
More games
Um,
really should make it a central mechanical component that you also build a little guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More companions in life. It gives you something else to live for as a character.
The other show that I do is Digiverse over on
Where you
Across
get
the
little
Plains with
guys!
Bees. Yeah, and like being able to play both my main human character Frankie as somebody who is relatively serious, and then also have this like Bearmon who pals around with a weirdo Burnout and sits there and makes puns all the time is a lot of fun. You know, you get to do the funny voice and goof around. I don't know, just having a second opinion.
I've seen one other game that I've never gotten to play, but the concept, I was like, Wraith the Apocalypse. It's one of those
Oblivion, I think.
yeah, there's Wraith the Oblivion. Apocalypse is Werewolf the Apocalypse. Yeah, Wraith the Oblivion. Their titles are a lot. It's from the World of Darkness series of games. They're all set in a setting that's all canonical, kind of question mark. But ultimately, the core premise of that game is everyone's a ghost, everyone's dead, and then everyone else is also playing the intrusive thoughts in their head going, you deserve to die. You don't deserve to move on. Everything that's ever happened in your life was your fault. And I'm like, okay, let's do that, but not trauma-y. Okay, the idea of that, cool. But also the fact that you need a table that really trusts each other to do that. Like, I love you guys. I don't know if I need Ben in my ear going, Your parents never loved you.
No, no one needs that. I
Yeah.
go for the throat every fucking time. It's really messed up. Like,
Aw.
absolute, like, no way. Emily has seen me go after a character before, and it's pretty raw.
I only cried once, and he didn't even intend it. And it was because I made myself cry.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Woo. And it was. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Gaming is a
You
fun
were
way to
talking to like
exploit
the
your
big
life.
bad of the entire thing, who is like an evil manipulator. But yeah, it was definitely like, oh yeah, I remember that. I know what moment you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah,
I was gonna
for
say, also,
me-
let's be real, with this group and our dynamic, that was so quickly turned to,
Ah.
oh, look at you being all successful and smart, huh? You bet you think you're something. Go you, get loved, idiot.
Alexis, you're
Loved
like, you're
idiot.
too handsome. You're too smart. Everyone likes you too much.
Got a beautiful
Okay, but-
voice.
Stop. This just sounds fun now.
You deserve love and support, you son of a bitch.
You fucking sicko. Sitting there being deserving of love and good fortune.
You said
Everyone is
something
so
nice
much
about
happier when they're
yourself.
around you.
Stuff like that is what partially got me the idea of Kids on Drakes on like I said, I was already interested in Kids on Bikes and I like dragons, and then I saw Wraith the whatever, and I went, those two together, we can make something fun and hopefully wholesome, which the game mostly was, I think. I said that, then immediately ran through the events in my mind and went, never mind. The vibes were wholesome, and then unwholesome things happened.
That's how teenage detective and like childhood detective stories go. Like, it's supposed to, like, that is the exact thing. It's supposed to be kind of happy-go-lucky, and then there's a dead body.
Of course, yeah.
And there
Mhm.
was. Like,
That's
right
what
away.
happened. And I will fully admit, part of Kids on Drakes, on top of it being a game I put together and me running it, was a way because we all have things that we've thought about for Game Woven, but like we couldn't find a way to organically put them in yet. Or like we're like, I don't know if I want to be canon. I went, this is my chance. This is my time. Just put it all in. Here you go, gang. So we met some characters.
Mhm. I knew Stella was going to be there.
I can't remember who it was, but someone during City Planning Department planted the seed of Urstella being there.
Yeah, it was like an interstitial bit.
It's like, oh, if I have to use my character, I guess I will. Oh no.
We had literally discussed hooking, not necessarily doing a teen story, but there was a pitch that was thrown out at one point that would have been cool as well. But what if you did a Spence slasher movie kind of deal? Like, what if you made Jack like a Jack the Ripper story, except that Jack the Ripper was Urstella Vance?
And all the victims are vampires, yeah.
Right, and that was going to be the arc. And so, like, that was the reason that I seeded that there. I knew that that was something that you wanted access to. And yeah, so happy to see that he cropped up.
Yes, yeah, I was happy about that one.
I was also happy he didn't get mentioned again, basically at all. Once again, we need to talk about Primsol. Didn't happen.
You know, things got forgotten after that. Bree went, actually, things are a little unclear. I went, sick. I love it when things are unclear.
Yeah, things are unclear. I thought it'd be interesting if the reason, like, none of the truth ever came out is because, like, yeah, Urstella was able to pull some strings, but also these kids who may not be that great at lying genuinely do not remember if they're trying to tell it to anyone else. It's like you put a blanket over it.
Which means Bahamut knows nothing.
True.
I also just like the idea that characters can have part of their power suite goes outward into the fiction where, yeah, Urstella's like a very, very powerful character, like in fiction, in a fight, but part of their power in fiction, like wider fiction, is just that they just get away with shit because they're just that good. Like they just don't get caught. Like they got like cool sun powers that are also kind of a curse, but also they just like are really competent at being a spy and like sneaking around and not getting caught.
Yeah, it's called being a main character.
Yeah, also the thing with the memories, that wasn't Urstella, that was something from the silhouette. And why we also didn't address any of the other questions that got asked.
What's really fun about that is that reframes the confrontation in Kingdom by retroactively making Urstella actually extremely powerful. That means like we're talking about a whole bunch of 17th level characters got together in the city in Shaumere and like tore up half of a city block trying to take out one count. For the power scalers out there, like, that is just a really like satisfying like contextualization of just how powerful these people are in the larger universe.
Here's the question though is, so yes, the potential for that power was there, but I don't think Urstella started tapping into it until like after things happened in Shaumere. They dug too deep. They didn't have access. They hadn't like pushed that far with their power. So they had the potential, but they wouldn't have been able to just pull it out of a hat.
I mean, we don't necessarily know that. I mean, maybe Urstella was just not willing. That's kind of up to Lex to sort of put in, and not even to answer for right now. That's more of if and when we see Urstella again, maybe that's a conversation to be had. Was there growth, or was Urstella like a sleeping giant waiting to be awoken by an asshole vampire?
Or even could it be that the process of between Shaumere to now, they were relying a lot more like on their Lunas and their family connections, but maybe that has been like worn down and they've had to focus more on their own personal powers as the like empire kind of tightens the grip.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that I remember there was a moment near the end of Kingdom when Urstella finally like came to terms and accepted their curse or the blessing from the sun god. So that could be why. That's why we see big shift.
Yeah, that also makes sense to me.
So about the silhouette.
I thought I should cover some of the other grenades I threw into the lore before then. One thing that we accidentally did was have the 4 skeletons thing, and we were like, that's something. And I leaned into that for the weird temple we found. That's sitting there for us to do something with now, instead of just being in our heads.
Have we
Did we
talked
name
about the
that?
4 skeletons theory? Have we had a full conversation about the 4 skeletons theory on air?
I don't think so.
I feel like we have.
We might have.
We talked about it before we officially got the 4th.
To catch everybody up, if you don't remember, in the second arc, when we created Shadal's Corridor, we created the Leviathan skeleton in the bay, and then when we went up to the Twins Cradles, we put a frog up there. We put the giant frog skeleton, and we've been talking kind of on and on, like, well, there's got to be a skeleton in the east and a skeleton in the west, and so we had put the bird skeleton there, hadn't we?
We had the Tarsig.
But before the frog, there was the one in the volcano in Tarsa.
There was the Barracuda spirit
Barracuda,
that turned out
big
to be
quotes.
a spirit of a giant Leviathan that was like part of the volcano that that Tarsig was built in the caldera of.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when we decided, well, there's got to be a bird then.
Yeah, because at that point we had 2, and we went, oh, is that another skeleton? Oh, that's weird. And then we made a 3rd skeleton, went, wait, now hold on, where are these skeletons? They're in the cardinal directions. And then we went, okay, now we have to make a 4th
Where are we
one.
now? Here we go.
We have to go to the west, and we have to make one now.
The Empire must have one in the east. And we also, at that point, I think, decided that it must be a flying one, because we have various types of relationships with aquatic and land dwelling. And then we're like, well, that's obviously the last one has to fly.
No mammals, but you know.
Fuck a mammal.
Who needs a
There's
Mammals
also
be
no horses.
gone.
My theory is that all mammals are an invasive species on Norequis. It's not just that there aren't horses, it's that Norequis does not have any animals that actually like are native to Norequis. It was all amphibians and aquatics or birds.
I mean, it makes sense to me. Birds are a little more out there, but like early life was all aquatic, right?
Yeah.
Like Cambrian explosion, life didn't leave the water for a good while.
Yeah, Norequis life left the water and said, "Oh no, thank you."
Obviously, if you go clockwise, that is the evolution cycle.
You know? Huh.
Yeah, because the lizards show up and then you end up with birds because birds evolved from lizards.
Deep sea monstrosity coiling serpent, frog, bird.
Of course, yeah, the 4 tenders.
Yeah.
Now, what are their elements?
Tag yourself.
Oh,
I'm coiling serpent.
another thing that got established is so we've got like the fungal fairies, but now we have fae. There's like a
Yes.
separate thing because Bryn was fae.
Yeah.
Fae, fae. So now that's a thing.
And established as like a minority group that does hide themselves for various reasons as well.
So yeah, we got that one. Genji's character was a Verdreen. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Been a minute.
When we look back on Game Over in 20 years, I think Verdreen are going to be like the iconic meta species from Game Woven. Like it'll be, we'll go back and it'll be the Verdreen.
I want to keep doing more stuff with Verdreen as we move forward here. But
Verdreen,
you're
yeah.
saying like,
Well, just for that, I need to play around with Grey Folk or something.
Yeah, do it.
I did say I wanted to introduce
You're a
Fae and
coward.
Elves, and I didn't touch.
We got weird fungal boys, and then we got like Fae, which
Yeah.
there's a difference we didn't quite explore. And I'm like, cool, we
Yeah.
can do that later.
I love my weird
Don't worry
fungal
about
boys.
it, it's fine.
I also am looking out for places to put Buria, I believe is the name
Gloria?
Yeah.
of what Maeve was.
Yeah.
Stormfolk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stormfolk.
So with the 4 skeletons, we like found like a small like temple, for lack of a better word, that had like murals of the 4. I was like, okay, it's officially a thing. They're the 4. They're a thing somehow, somewhere. We did it. Cool. We'll play with that later. So where's that? Also, I fucked with Ben's character a little bit.
Yeah.
Ben has a habit of killing his characters. I went, no, he's useful, actually.
Oh, right.
He gets to stay.
I do kill characters a lot.
You make a point of it.
I planted that one during Kingdom.
Kingdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a fascinating one.
I snuck it past Ben at some point.
Wait,
you didn't-
wait, hold on. Catch me up. My brain is
Oh.
broken.
So, your character, whose name is escaping me,
Leon.
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 Leon?
Yeah. Remember, he died in a big explosion, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep, I killed him.
Yeah, you killed him. And then at some point, I said something along the lines of,
Leon had a bracer that Hinbet
Yeah.
had given him.
yes, Henbit
Yeah.
gave him like a weird plant bracer, and then
An adversary.
Ursula, yeah, an adversary.
Right. Yes. Okay.
And Urstella stole the bracer and replaced it with a copy when Leon was buried. And my brain went, what if I turned into a weird plant guy that looked vaguely like Leon in a suit of armor? I don't know.
right.
I love that.
And you
And
did
that's been
that.
sitting there.
And we got Hand Friend.
We got hand friend.
And Fred.
Only mildly traumatized children.
Yeah.
Hand Friend's great, what do you mean?
Leon became some kind of new thing that I didn't name. He's Leon. That's what he is. So that's another thing. Leon's here. He can't really talk, but he's here.
He's there.
Okay, but is it really Leon, or is it something is it like something that just has like parts of him?
That's kind of how I read it. Like, yeah.
I'll leave that to Ben.
That's okay.
We can figure that out later with Ben. But I just wanted to, I don't like something about the Undead Empire always having undead throwing undead at people. My brain's like, Ursula might have the same idea, but in a different way. And the sun is all about like providing life and growth to things. And there's a plant bracer, it can make it grow. Maybe, I don't know. Oh no! Look, it's the shape of a man.
To go forward, one of the things that's interesting about Leon is he's small c conservative in a really big way. That's, I think, a central tenet of the dynamic between Henbit and Leon is that like tension between Henbit being a sort of move fast and break things type and like very weird, very like new agey versus the wanting things to remain as they are, protecting the old ways because the old ways are useful and valuable. And then we move on to the next thing where Henbit is using Leon's legacy to forward her own agenda. and then like there is actually something that is identifiably Leon-like, that's a fun conversation for the future. We'll get to it.
And now, actually, finally, the silhouette. I've been sitting on that one for a minute.
What is it? Okay.
We'll find out. Maybe. Or we won't.
I'm cool not knowing. I'm cool with that remaining a mystery. That feels like a fun mystery.
Did Ben freeze, or are you just staring at me judgingly?
Oh yeah, he's
That's
not
a bad
loaded for
freeze,
me.
but we should keep moving. we should keep moving.
There are more beings out there like the silhouette, and we might have kind of talked to one in Nowhereville.
Not gonna lie, Bree has made up quite a few silhouette-esque characters
Mhm.
throughout the setting.
I
Yeah.
do have a
Random
lot of
mysterious
ghost women.
entities?
Serious women.
Hey, one of those is mine.
At least like 2 or 3 other mysterious entities with known confirmed facial features who just kind of like say portentous things at important people.
I have a thing, okay? I have a thing for that kind of character. I don't know why. I'm
Oh.
still trying to figure that out, but it's a thing.
You know.
Beyond gimmick infringement, can you like refresh me on the silhouette? Because it's been a minute since I listened to that episode.
So I want to say I've been thinking about the silhouette since the God Potluck. If anyone remembers, when I was recording my section of the God Potluck, we had technical difficulties. We didn't get to finish. I was going to introduce them there. And then it just went, okay, I'll just sit on this for something. And then you're like, and then I mentioned I'm building a thing called Kids on Drakes. And you guys went, hey, do you want to run it? I went, okay. So the silhouette above board was me going, so we're doing a lot of things with God. We met a lot of God, met a lot of powerful beings, but all of them seem like kind of young in the grand scheme of things. In kind of the way that Greek mythology has, like, there's the Olympians, but then there were the Titans. You know, they're all gods, but there's the first batch or something. My brain kind of went, okay, what might the Titan equivalent look like here or something? So rather than being a god, it's like the god's grandpa or great, type deal. There are gods who are the gods of things that only make sense if there's people. And there's the gods of things that are primordial and exist no matter what life looks like. Like space and time, those will always be, even if there's no humans to observe them, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, what about the batch of those guys out there? Where like the gods we've met are all like children biting at their ankles that they're kind of ignoring, you know?
It's like a step back from Dion towards a god Milo killed. Something like that.
A thing that I really tickles my brain is the idea that like the gods of the Game Over world are not native, right? They came from the city of the gods, whatever that actually physically means. Conceptually, they didn't like come from here. The majority of the pantheon, I should say. Some of them are like arisen from mortals and yada 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 yada. But the idea that this world wasn't just like a dead rock before they came here is something that is like deeply interesting to me. Like that's part of the reason I know I established Tarsig. I don't know if I came up with or if it was a kind of a group think on the Leviathan in the corridor. But I know I thought about Tarsig, like the idea of things so old they would have been alive before these new set of gods came by, and the world being older than the things that are supposed to be like constants.
It would not surprise me if also with Tarsig, when we introduced true name magic, if that is a form of magic that is older than the traditional magic that we talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah, and that's also part of what I was thinking of for the silhouette. I was like, none of this has to be what they are. But my brain was like, okay, like, what would a god of names look like? And would they be new? Or would they be primordial, beyond recognition type thing?
Because if you're talking about a god of names, like a god of identifying things, even if it wasn't fully built into the fabric of the universe, we're talking about something old to the point that it's not just like when we humans started naming things, but when the concept of identifying things that are not ourselves, which
as soon as there's more than one thing.
Yeah. If they're not the oldest, they're amongst the oldest, and that's kind of where my brain went. If that is what they are, sure.
It is also okay for like the really old ones to be completely incomprehensible, and we don't have to like show those cards. They can just
Mhm.
it can just exist as something that is just older than our conception of the natural world.
Mhm.
I think it's more interesting to leave that just that's there.
Mhm.
We don't have an explanation. We're not gonna we're just that they just are.
The name, the silhouette, came from my initial idea of what it might look like. When it was going to be gods meeting the silhouette, it was going to be literally just be a silhouette on a wall. And that's like the closest they could get to like understanding it.
Very Adventure Time.
Never seen it, so I'll take your word for it.
So instead we got Eyeball Guy.
So yeah, that was me dipping my toe into Eldritch something. Maybe not a horror, Eldritch something. It's another thing we can play with later, and I'm glad. Finally, I don't have to keep thinking about it and be like, this is a thing that's just for me right now.
We will move on to Bitter Litany after these messages.
I mean, we don't have sponsors, but we do have ads. Yeah, potty break and making popcorn.
You have been listening to Cross Stitch, the Game Woven Talkback series, featuring Brianna Jean, T.T. Benjamin, Emily Anderson, Robbie Rowling, Zadkiel Green, and Lex Olden. If you like what we're doing, please give us a like or a review on your favorite podcasting app. Tell your friends about us. You can support us on our Patreon at patreon.com/gamewoven. You can also support the network. We are a part of the One Shot Podcast Network. Includes so many other truly amazing shows run by amazing creators. So go throw them some support over at patreon.com/oneshot.